What's up, gamers? You already know what it is, and I just got red pilled about hair clips. I don't know if you can see it from my girlfriend, and now I live and die by the hair clip. Dude, I can look down and not have my hair in the face, and this is just the greatest thing I've ever learned since having long hair, and this is everything I needed in my life. So anyway, we got those sweet, juicy playoff predictions, and you know these are based on an educated guess, but you already know I can see the future. I know everything. This is definitely going to be right. There's going to be absolutely zero wrong predictions here. And then I know the first round that's played, it's definitely going to happen. So I'm definitely going to be proven wrong. So I have a first round bye. And then the other part of our bracket, so this is on the left side. This is like our side of the bracket to the left. Jersey Dusknor, I don't know why I only wrote Dusk, and Terrible Totodiles. You got Diggersby and Heracross, two good buds facing off against each other. You have Giratinas versus the Beedrills. So I'm just going to take this one by one. I'm going to show you the team matchups. So I'm going to have the teams side by side, and then the next slide is going to be my opinion of what needs to go on in the matchup for each team to win. And I will also see the little thing on the top. That's going that way, right? Yeah, that's going that way. Okay, if you don't know how to read that, it's the Pac-Man. It's the one that's gonna win. And if you don't know that, then you need to go back to kindergarten. So Pac-Man munches on the thing that's bigger, and Pac-Man's gonna munch on the thing that's gonna win. So I'm predicting Jersey Dusknors over Terrible Totodiles, although this is a very hard match to predict, and I definitely think this one could go either way. I think this is definitely a toss-up, but as you see here, there's big threats on both teams. There's a little bit more standard of a team on Jersey Dusknor's part, and they have a little bit more, I want to say, I don't even know what I want to say. I feel like they have more options to go on the offensive and defensive, and I feel like the Totodiles kind of have this like weird team synergy, but he's really been making it work all season. So he's got like that Lugia that he's been playing usually very offensive for the most part, and Tapu Koko, and he's also got Farium Z. So we're gonna see. I said for the Jersey Dusknors to win this match, what they're gonna have to do is smash through the defenses of the Totodiles, so like the few defensive mons with Kyurem Black, because I think he can definitely punch a hole through Lugia. I think nothing really switches into him very well, and he's got coverage for everything. And I think if he can strategically use Florges to try to counteract any funny business going on with Lugia, if he's running like a stall set, or especially like Tapu Koko, as long as Tapu Koko doesn't run a physical set, and then just clean with the Gallade, I think Dusknors will be able to win. But I think on the Terrible Totodile side, Tapu Koko will really be able to clean in the end game if he can just get some chip off, and then he can kill Kyurem Black with Farium Z. And if he can just, he's been playing creatively all season, if he can continue with that creativity with Lugia and just that unpredictability that he's been playing with all season, I definitely think that he can come out on top as well. So it's going to be a really fun match to watch, in my opinion. I'm really curious to see the outcome of that match. Next up, we have Brooklyn Diggersby versus Houston Heracross. I am very confident about this pick. Obviously, it can go either way, but I definitely think that Diggersby will beat Heracross. I'm very sorry, Houston Heracross. But here's their team matchup, so you can take a look at that and take a gander at that. I might start flipping back to them as well when I talk about these things. But first things first. Talking about Diggersby, he really needs to keep up the hazard pressure and the U-turn pressure. So if you go back to this team, he's got Klefki. Klefki can set up all sorts of hazards on him. And then he's got Lando, Darmanitan, Noivern, and anything else, Galvantula. He can just start putting on the Volt-turn Vortex. Utex. And if he gets all those hazards up and stuff, like, Heracross's team is just very susceptible to hazards, and his ways of getting them off are Avalugg spinning or Braviary defogging. And think that's it. So I mean, and Avalugg is susceptible to spikes. Avalugg is susceptible to rocks. He's weak to rocks and stuff. And then Diggersby does have a spin blocker in Gourgeist, but he's not like a very good spin blocker compared for Avalugg. That is because Avalugg is ice type. So if he can just do that with hazard pressure, he should easily be able to punch a hole and sweep with Mewtwo and Lopunny. And for Houston Heracross, he really needs to play Clefable. He needs to make sure that he keeps his Clefable healthy to check Lopunny and use Magic Guard to not be injured by the hazards, and he just really needs to rely on the Clefable backbone. And he needs to play Deoxys really smart, because Deoxys is kind of like a mon that can go highly offensive or highly defensive. I'm thinking possibly he can try to reverse that hazard game that I was talking about for Diggersby. I think that he can do the same thing. He can set up spikes and he can set up rocks. And if Diggersby tries to run the Volt Turn Vortex on him and Heracross can get up hazards, then Diggersby is going to be in a lot of trouble. And then finally off that, he's going to have to utilize Bisharp to really counter the offensive abilities of Diggersby. He needs to watch out for like sub on Lopunny and stuff, sub on Mewtwo, because like it's really hard, because you can Sucker Punch, but if you run sub on Mewtwo on the Sucker Punch play, then you're screwed. But then if you predict him to sub and you don't Sucker Punch and you do something else instead, then Mewtwo can just like Focus Blast or like Hidden Power fighting you, and then you're done. So I'm thinking that he's got to run like a Choppleberry Sucker Punch kind of set. Like, I don't know, it's just not looking good for the Heracross in my opinion. Next up, the last round, or last battle of round 1, is the Sin City Giratinas versus the Belper Beedrills. I think this is another one that can go either way. I think the Belper Beedrills have an extremely broken team, but I definitely think they've been underperforming throughout the season and not really utilizing their strengths to the best of their ability. And I do see Counter Weather with Alolan Ninetales on Giratina, so I think that is going to be highly useful for kind of disrupting the Beedrill's playstyle. So for the Giratinas to win, I said they need to utilize Ninetales' ability to counter weather, and then on top of that, they actually have Alolan Persian, which is kind of a low tier pick. So that was like 60 points. That's I think the second lowest tier, but with Fake Out you can stall rain turns. With Zygarde and Mega Metagross, you can Foul Play. And honestly, like, Foul Play is going to hurt Kyogre because he's got a pretty decent attack stat as well. Honestly, like, Alolan Persian's ability to counter an offensive team is really great. So I just think that he can get so much mileage out of Alolan Persian in this matchup, and I think that is actually going to be like Parting Shot as well. Like, if something comes out that you don't want to do something, I think he can. I'm pretty sure he has Taunt. So if you run Fake Out, Taunt for Ferrothorn, Foul Play, and then like Parting Shot, I think you're going to get so much mileage out of Alolan Persian. And then he's got to keep Nihilego in the back, because Nihilego can just break through the whole team as long as he doesn't get like bullet punched or anything, or just like a surprise Scarf or something. He's got Grass Knot, he's got Hidden Power Ice, he's got Sludge Wave, he's got he can help with Tornadus, with Power Gem. The only thing he doesn't really have something for, I would say, is Ferrothorn, but he also has Foul Play for Metagross as well. So just a lot of options, and I think that will be a possibly deciding mon in this matchup if he can break through Ferrothorn, that is. And then Belper Beedrills, keep the rain up with Kyogre and then break with Kyogre. Use your Banded Zygarde to beat through his lack of switch-ins, because if you look at this team, there's nothing that really wants to switch in. Like, the only thing that I can think of is maybe a Rotom Mow, but Rotom Mow doesn't even want to switch in to a banded 1000 arrows, so I think definitely banded Zygarde is the way to go right now. And then doubles to Mega Metagross to double switches to Mega Metagross to apply offensive pressure. I was like, double? This is a singles match. Okay, double switches to Mega Metagross to apply offensive pressure. And I didn't write this down, but also just keeping Ferrothorn healthy, because last week he actually beat somebody. He was like down. It was basically like a reverse 6-0 with Ferrothorn, and it was absolutely incredible. So he's really just got to keep Ferrothorn healthy and play that right. But I do see Giratina is coming out slightly on top. I think they are favored in this matchup, in my opinion. And then round 2. Assuming my predictions were right, these will be the round 2 matchups. So then we can just kind of quickly talk through round 2 and what I expect the finals to be. And this is when you'll start seeing my videos of gameplay, because I'm in round 2 because I have first round bye. So first matchup, I'm not going to talk about it too much because this is me. So here are our teams, and I'm going to keep how I'm going to win a secret, and I'm not going to give Jersey Dusknoirs any tips on how to beat me. So that is what I will say about our matchup. And then other side, Brooklyn Diggersby versus Sin City Giratinas. I've got Diggersby because I definitely think Diggersby is a finals kind of team, and you can see the matchup right there. Again, Klefki, Hazard Stack, Giratinas do not have any reliable recovery anywhere. Like, the only thing with reliable recovery is Gliscor, maybe Salamence. Arcanine has Morning Sun, but he's got Hail on his team. And if he can just get like the hazards up, dude, like Giratina's team just gonna crumble. And they don't have really great removal either. They got Gliscor for removal and Rotom-Mow for removal, and I guess Salamence, but like who's removing with Salamence? So after he gets the hazards up, keep Gliscor and Rotom-Mow at bay. So does he have an ice type that he can I mean, maybe Lapras or something. Not really Lapras, though. I think Mewtwo gets Ice Beam or something. So if he can just keep Gliscor and Rotom-Mow. Do I keep saying Rotom-Mow? If I say that, might be... I wrote Rotom-Mow. So if he can just keep the pressure up on them to keep the hazards on the field, I think it'll be an easy game for him. And then just clean with Lopunny and Mewtwo in the end. Basically the same strategy as every game. Get the hazards up, and then clean with Mewtwo and Lopunny, which are just broken sweepers. If Giratina wants to have a chance at this match, they've got to get the Aurora Veil up early. They've got to get Gliscor out against Klefki to defog ASAP. Don't let Klefki like set up 2 layers of hazards and then switch in and then try to defog, because maybe Diggersby will double into something on that turn that you switch into Gliscor and keep the hazards off. You got to get into Gliscor right away to get the hazards off the field. And then watch out for Magnet Rise, because like if you just try to beat Klefki with Earthquake, and that's not going to happen. You might need to bring Fire Fang Gliscor with defog, honestly, because if I'm Diggersby, I'm doing everything I can to keep hazards on the field. And then save a Scarfer to the late game to deal with Mewtwo and Lopunny. So again, I think that's Nihilego. Nihilego is a really great Scarfer, and if he can keep Nihilego alive into the late game, then he might have a chance against Mewtwo and Lopunny. And assuming those are right, we will have finals, which is Baltimore Blissies versus Brooklyn Diggersby. And who is champ? You already know. You already know who I'm predicting champ to be. So I will see you guys in finals. Catch you later.